Have you ever just wished you could snap your fingers and change your car's color? Or maybe give it a totally custom look that nobody else has? Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. We are diving deep into the world of vehicle wraps, and we're going to break down everything you need to know to completely transform your ride.
So let's get right to it. Here's the big question, right? How do you get that complete head-turning makeover for your car, but without the permanence and, frankly, the huge cost of a brand new paint job? Well, that is the exact problem that vinyl wraps were invented to solve.
And when you put wrapping and repainting side by side, the advantages of a wrap really start to pop. For one, it's usually more affordable than a paint job of the same quality. The whole process is way faster too. But you know the real game changer? It's the reversibility. You can go back to your original paint anytime you want. And as a bonus, the wrap actually acts like a protective shield for your paint against rock chips and sun damage.
Okay, but hold on. Before we jump into all the cool designs and finishes, let's pump the brakes and ask the most important question first. Is a wrap actually the right move for you? Because this isn't just about making your car look cool, it's about understanding the real value.
All right, let's talk money. The number you see here, $3,500 to $5,000, that's pretty typical for a high-quality, professional, full-vehicle wrap. Now yeah, that's a serious chunk of change, but put it into perspective. It's often a lot less than what you'd shell out for a high-end, full-body repaint.
So what about the return on your investment? Your ROI?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting because it totally depends on your goal. If you're a business, think of this thing as a mobile billboard. It's an advertising machine that can literally pay for itself in new leads, plus it's a tax-deductible expense. But for the rest of us, for personal use, the ROI isn't financial, it's emotional. It's all about the joy you get from driving a car that is 100% uniquely yours.
Okay, now for the really fun part, designing your perfect wrap. This is where you get to let your creativity run wild, but it all starts with making a few key technical choices first.
The foundation of any great wrap, the absolute starting point, is the vinyl itself. And it basically boils down to two main types. You've got cast vinyl, which is the premium stuff. It's way more flexible, more durable, and that makes it perfect for all those complex curves on a car. Then there's calendared vinyl. It's easier on the wallet, for sure, but you really only want to use that on flatter, simpler surfaces. And just look at this. This gives you a great idea of the sheer variety of finishes you can choose from. You can go with a classic, shiny, paint-like gloss or that super modern, non-reflective matte look. Satin? That's kind of the perfect sweet spot right in between. And then you get into the wild stuff, the real head turners like chrome, metallic, or that sporty, textured carbon fiber. Just a little pro tip for you. Matte finishes look absolutely incredible, but they do take a little more work to keep looking clean. Now, here is a piece of advice you will hear from every single professional installer, and it's a big one. Do not cheap out on the brand of vinyl. Seriously, brands like 3M, Avery Dennison, KPMF, Hexus, they cost more for a very good reason. Their materials are just engineered to last, to resist fading, cracking, and peeling way longer than the cheap stuff. And this right here, this is a golden nugget of advice from the community. Before you drop thousands of dollars, spend a few bucks on sample swatches. Just like the quote says, you have got to see that color on your actual car in different kinds of light. I'm telling you, a color that looks amazing on a website can look completely different in bright sunlight versus under streetlights at night.
Okay, so you've done it. You picked your dream color from a top-tier brand. Awesome. Now comes what is, without a doubt, the most critical step in this whole process, finding the right installer to actually put it on your car.
You see, a real professional shop doesn't just slap the vinyl on. No way. They have a meticulous process. They'll actually disassemble parts of your car, bumpers, lights, door handles, so they can wrap every edge perfectly for a seamless, paint-like finish. They'll deep clean every square inch of the surface to make sure it sticks. And they use amazing tools like knifeless tape to get those super clean, sharp edges without ever bringing a blade near your car's paint. But on the flip side, a bad installation is an absolute nightmare. We're talking major red flags like bubbles everywhere, edges already peeling up, or just sloppy, visible seams. Even worse, you could see vinyl that's been overstretched and discolored, or, and this is the stuff of nightmares, actual knife cuts into your original paint. This is exactly why the skill of the installer is, you could argue, even more important than the material itself. All right, so the wrap is on, your car looks incredible. Now what? Let's talk about the long haul. What's it actually like to live with a wrapped vehicle every day?
First things first, you gotta have realistic expectations about how long it's gonna last. For a car you drive every day, a well-maintained premium wrap will probably look its best for about 3 to 5 years. It's really important to think of it as a semi-permanent mod, not a forever paint job.
And listen to this, because it's a super important warning from an industry insider. Do not wait too long to get the wrap removed. Just like the quote says, once you get past that 5 to 7 year mark, the adhesive really starts to break down, and taking it off becomes a huge, difficult job. Trying to peel off a 10-year-old wrap? You're looking at a complete mess that could absolutely damage your paint.
But here's the good news. How you care for it makes a massive difference. We're talking hand washing only. Those automatic car washes with the big brushes are a wrap's worst enemy. You also need to clean off nasty stuff like bird droppings or fuel spills right away. But honestly, the single biggest thing you can do to make it last is park in a garage whenever possible. The sun's UV rays are the #1 killer of vinyl, plain and simple.
Okay, let's tackle the final big question that I know is on everyone's mind. What happens when it's time for the wrap to come off? What's the removal process like, and what's going to happen to your original paint underneath?
This is it, the #1 fear, and it's a totally valid one. I mean, you're literally sticking a giant adhesive sheet all over your car's paint. So, will it damage the paint when it comes off? Well, the classic answer is, it depends.
Look, the risks are real. You could end up with some stubborn glue residue that's a pain to clean off, or worst case, it could actually lift or damage your clear coat. But here's your best defense. This is the golden rule to protect your paint. 1. Use a premium vinyl. 2. Hire a top-notch professional installer. And 3. Remove it on time. You stick to those 3 things, and you give yourself the absolute best chance of peeling that wrap off to reveal perfectly preserved, beautiful paint underneath.
So, when you boil it all down, it comes to this. A car wrap is an incredible way to customize your vehicle. It offers possibilities that paint just can't touch, but it is definitely not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of thing. Think of it as a temporary masterpiece. It demands the right material, a seriously skilled installer, and your commitment to proper care. So now that you know exactly what's involved, the real question is it the right choice for you?